It wasn't a role, an award, or even a killer SNL sketch that made Pete Davidson a household name. It was a nickname. Not just any nickname, but one that, for better or worse, became internet canon. Big DK Energy, or BDE for short. A term launched into the stratosphere thanks to his very public and very whirlwind romance with pop superstar Ariana Grande. Now, years later, Davidson is finally opening up about what it was like to have the entire world define him by, well, that. In a candid interview on The Breakfast Club, the comedian revealed, "No one talked about the work I was doing. They just talked about my genitalia, and for once, the guy known for turning everything into a joke wasn't laughing. I was genuinely embarrassed," he said. "My friends saw I was down. My coworkers asked if I was okay. My mom, well, let's not bring my mom into this." The bidet phenomenon began when the internet collectively tried to understand how a guy like Pete, with his half-asleep fashion sense, quirky comedy, and unapologetically chaotic vibe, ended up engaged to a pop icon like Ariana. Instead of attributing it to charm or chemistry, the internet arrived at a more physical explanation. He must have big DK energy. The meme hit full speed when Ariana herself seemed to co-sign the myth. Responding to a fan asking about the length of the song, Pete Davidson, from her Sweetener album, she cheekily tweeted, "Like 10 inches? OFK. I mean, like a lil over a minute." The damage, or legend, depending on your perspective, was done. And while the world kept laughing, Davidson was spiraling into what he now describes as a meme version of himself. "Honestly, it was sort of traumatic," he admitted. "I know that sounds dramatic, but I didn't feel like I was in control of my own image anymore. I wasn't a comedian or an actor. I was a walking punchline for something I never asked for." Davidson also pointed out the double standard in how society talks about men and women. "If a woman were being talked about like that, people would call it harassment," he said. "But since I'm a dude, it was just funny. A headline, a whole brand." He added, half joking but clearly weary, "I'm not like Glenn Powell hot. I look like I work at a gas station. So when I started dating Ariana, people were like, wait, what's the catch?" And boom, they made it about that. Even behind the scenes at Saturday Night Live, Davidson said the bidet reputation impacted how he was treated. "People were laughing before I even told a joke. I wasn't being funny, I was just a phenomenon." He paused. "I don't blame Ari, she was being playful, but these things get out of hand fast." These days, Pete Davidson is focused on something far more grown-up: fatherhood. He's expecting his first child with model Elsie Hewitt, and he's embracing a new chapter, swapping big DK energy for big dad energy. "Becoming a dad is what I'm most excited about," he smiled. "And hopefully, this means people will finally stop talking about that." Still, the internet rarely forgets, and Davidson knows it. Rather than fight the legacy, he's learned to live with it, sometimes even laugh at it. "If that's what people remember me for, so be it," he shrugged. "But hey, I've got some solid stand-up too. Don't sleep on that." In a world where a single joke can define you, sometimes forever, Pete Davidson is proof that internet fame doesn't always come with fortune and glory. Sometimes, it just comes with a nickname you never signed up for.